We think we see the world, but we really don't. Would you believe me if I told you that everything that we can see, every star, every planet, every galaxy, all of it combined, is just 5% of the visible world? 95% is dark matter and dark energy, invisible, everywhere, passing through your body right now as you sit in this chair. Now let's come to our own solar system. Our solar system is 160 million times smaller than just our galaxy, which is itself just one of 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. And within our own solar system, 99.86% is just the sun, 0.1% is Jupiter, and the remaining 0.1% consists of Earth, Mars, other planets, and the moon. Of that sweet little tiny Earth, 70% is water, 30% is land. Out of this land, half of it is covered in desert, ice. It is only just 3% on which 8 billion of us live. And yet, we think that we have the perspective of everything. There is a lot which human eyes cannot see. There is a lot which we have not experienced. There is a lot to come. And yet, somewhere we still think that we have figured out something. Now, something important, very, very important, lies beyond the visible. Your future girlfriend. No, I'm not talking about the present one. The present one might be tracking you. She might be tracking your location. I am talking about those who are yet to come. So, as they say, that boys do not leave a girl for another girl. The girls might leave a boy for another boy, but a boy will never leave a girl for another girl. He will try to keep both. So coming back to what actually lies beyond the visible, your future job lies beyond the visible, your future business partner lies beyond the visible, the experience that you are yet to have, every good thing that you are about to experience lies beyond the visible. And this has always been true for all of humanity at every single turning point in history. Now let me walk you through the moments that have really shaped the humanity that we see today. The first one is fire, the most dramatic productivity hack in the history of our species. Before we learned to control fire, early humans spent nearly 4 hours in hunting and then 6 hours in chewing. 6 hours just chewing the raw meat. We were literally spending more time eating than doing anything else. Fire cooked the food, cooking broke down the proteins, and suddenly the same meal that took 6 hours to chew took 20 minutes. We got 5 hours back every single day. And what did we do with these 5 hours? We thought, we talked, we imagined, we built. The expansion of the human brain is directly linked to cooking. We did not get smarter and then discover fire. We discovered fire and then we got smarter. The most transformative productivity tool in human history we have was not the smartphone. It was the cooking pot. Then came something very, very phenomenal, that is language. And with language came something which is even more powerful, that is the myth, stories, the ability to sit around a fire and share an idea that did not exist in the physical world. Now, religion is something which fascinates me very, very deeply. Almost every myth that religion asks us to believe, life after death, heaven, divine purpose, none of it can be scientifically proven. Yet billions of people across thousands of years have chosen to believe in it completely, wholeheartedly. Why? Because the myth was more powerful than the fact. It is because shared belief, even in something invisible and unprovable, created a bond between strangers so strong that they would die for each other, like lovers die for each other. It's a myth. Religion was not just spirituality, it was most sophisticated community building technology ever invented, the world's first operating system for human cooperation. Then came different revolutions: agriculture, governance, writing, scientific method, industrial revolution, internet, and artificial intelligence. 10 invisible turning points, 10 times humanity chose to walk towards something it could not fully see. 10 times the world changed forever. But here is what is different about right now. Each of these 10 moments arrived alone, one at a time, sometimes centuries apart. And each one individually reshaped the entire world. What is happening today is completely different. For the first time in human history, multiple landmark evolutions are arriving together simultaneously, each one making the other stronger, each one amplifying the others further. And what that convergence is about to produce is something no generation before yours has ever witnessed or fathomed. Let us talk about that. This is called the 11th moment, the moment of convergence. Like you are always believing in that something which is not invisible, which is not visible, is better than the visible. Let me tell you something that sounds like a Marvel movie, but is actually just physics. For the entire history of the human race, every civilization, every empire, every invention, every meal you have ever eaten, our energy has come from one single source. Can you guess what is that single source? Sun. It has always been the sun. But there is one interesting part. For 400,000 years, we could not harness it directly. The only species with the biological license to harness sunlight directly was plants. And that through photosynthesis. And you know what? The efficiency of photosynthesis, can someone guess? Is just 1%. Meaning 99% of the sun's energy, the most abundant power source, is getting wasted and had been getting wasted for billions of years. But everything in human civilization, your food, your wood, coal, petrol, everything is just stored solar power. Energy used to come to plant first, and then technologically speaking, we have been living off the crumbs under the sun's table. And then something remarkable happened. What was the new invention? What is the new invention? Solar panels, which looks very simple. But for the first time in 4 billion years of life, a species other than plant gained the direct ability to harness sunlight. And you know what is the efficiency of solar panel? It's 20%. 20 times better than photosynthesis. In one invention, humanity went from living on crumbs to eating directly from the table. But the solar panel alone is not the story. The story is what happens when 5 things arrive simultaneously. And what are these 5 things? The first one, cheap solar energy plus universal internet. It gives nearly free energy to everyone. Solar energy costs have dropped down to 90% in the last decade. It is now the cheapest source of electricity ever recorded in human history. As satellite internet reaches the last billion people, currently online or currently offline energy becomes nearly free and universally accessible. The factory that could not exist in a small town because electricity was too expensive, now it can. The hospital that went dark every night does not anymore. Free energy is not just an economic event, It is the most powerful equalizer humanity has ever witnessed. Because at its root, every form of poverty is an energy problem. You remove that constraint, and the floor of human suffering gets removed. Now, second convergence is very interesting. Free energy feeds AI, and AI changes everything. As you would be knowing, that AI needs tremendous amount of energy. AI consumes electricity equivalent to entire country. The primary ceiling on how smart AI can become today is not talent. It is not algorithms. It is energy. When solar makes energy nearly free, that ceiling disappears. Every previous tool in history extended one human capacity. For example, the wheel extended legs, the telescope extended eyes, the calculator extended arithmetic. AI is the first tool that extends the entirety of human intelligence. It makes human intelligence a commodity which everyone can experience at once. A child in a village without a school will soon have access to a thinking partner more knowledgeable than any other teacher. The invisible ceiling of access that has defined human inequality for all of recorded history is about to shatter. Not because of charity, but because of physics. This is very important. Now comes the convergence 3, AI plus robotics, which ends physical scarcity. AI without a body is just a smart voice in a box. It is robotics which gives AI hands, legs, and presence in the physical world. We already have over 1 million robots in the world already functioning. When AI becomes genuinely adaptive, when a robot does not just follow instructions, but actually learns by following your instructions, the cost of physical labor in manufacturing, construction, agriculture collapses. Your children might find it very strange that we used to do things manually. We used to produce things manually. The invisible is becoming visible faster than our institutions can process it. Then comes convergence 4, AI plus genomics. Now in 2023, something very interesting happened. We got the permission to write the first genome code. Most people missed it, but that approval may one day be remembered as the moment humanity gained the ability to edit its own source code. AI is now accelerating this beyond anything previously imaginable. We are moving from treating one disease after it appears to treating it even before it manifests. Human life expectancy may extend significantly within the lifetimes of our own people sitting here. Our systems and institutions were designed for a 70-year life. Nobody has written the source code for 120 years of life. That is your generation's invisible problem that has to be solved. And then comes fifth convergence, reusable rockets. As you know, Elon Musk tested a reusable rocket, and then China tested another one. So what is it going to give us? So for 60 years, after the moon landing, space was a government museum. Launch costs have come down sharply by 90% with reusable rockets. Now there are plans already in place to put solar powered data centers in space, in the orbit above the clouds, where there is no night, no weather, no dust, which reduces the atmospheric capacity, intensity for solar insolation. So continuous, uninterrupted solar energy harvested from space, beamed back to Earth, powering AI systems of unprecedented capability directly from the orbit. We started with one fact: for 4 billion years, only plants could harness the sun at 1% efficiency on the surface of one planet. Within a decade, we may be harvesting solar energy continuously in space and using it to power the most intelligent systems ever created. We are not just going beyond the visible, we are going to go beyond the planet. And now comes the most interesting part. As people say that jobs are getting disappeared, I say that jobs are not getting disappeared. Jobs are getting invisible, and invisible jobs are going to come. Everyone in this room has heard that the same headline that AI is going to eat up all your jobs. Robots will replace you, automation will make you irrelevant, half of the jobs will disappear by 2030. I want to offer you a totally different perspective. 10 years ago, if I had told you that a young person would wake up, make a short video on their phone, post it, go back to sleep, and wake up to find that thousands of strangers had voluntarily spent their own precious time watching it, sharing it, and with other strangers, and then global brands would then pay that person real money simply for existing loudly on the internet, you would have said that this is not a job, this is a fantasy. Today, there are over 50 million people globally who call themselves creators, one of the fastest growing professions on earth. And the currency they trade in is not money, it is attention, something very, very precious to each one of us. People are paying with the most finite, most personal, most non-renewable resource they possess, their minutes, their emotional investment, their trust. Nobody designed this job. Nobody taught it in school. We never had a training. Nobody predicted it. It just emerged from the invisible because technology created new abundance, and new abundance always creates new human needs. This is not new. This has happened every single time. When the printing press arrived, scribes lost their jobs. But authors, publishers, and journalists were born. When electricity arrived, there used to be gas lamp lighters who used to come and light the lamps. They lost their jobs. But engineers, electricians, and cinema came to life. When the internet arrived, travel agents and video rental stores died. But an entirely invisible ecosystem of coders, designers, and digital creators emerged. Research tells us AI will displace 92 million jobs. But the same research tells us that it will also create 170 new million jobs. These new ones are simply invisible right now because abundance that you are yet to experience is not there. When energy is nearly free and AI handles routine thinking, the scarcest and most valuable things on earth will no longer be information or productivity. They will be human connection, meaning, creativity, trust, affection, love. The most valued professionals of the next decade will be the people who make others feel seen, understood, guided, directed in a world that is drowning in noise. Therapists, coaches, storytellers, experienced designers, community builders, spiritual guides, teachers who inspire rather than merely inform, humans who solve the most basic problem, deeply, irreducibly human problem of the coming era, which is not a lack of information, but a crisis of meaning of life. These are not just problems that robots solve. These are not gaps that algorithms fill. And meeting them will be the most valuable work of the coming generation. The Instagram creator did not replace someone. He did not eat up anybody's job. They created a job the world did not know by meeting a human need that technology had made newly visible. The need to be entertained, the need to feel real, to feel important, to feel entertained. Your generation will do the same, not by waiting for a job description, for a world that does not yet exist, but by doing what every generation before you did at every invisible turning point in history. Walking towards something you cannot fully see and building it before anyone else realizes it was needed. This is a new career strategy. That is how every single landmark in human history began. So the fire is already lit, the solar panels are going up, the AI is getting smarter, the robots are learning, the genome is being edited, the rockets are landing and launching again. The 11th invisible moment of our human evolution is right there, unfolding in real time, in your lifetime, on your watch. The question is, are you going to watch it happen, or are you going to lean in, pick up the stones, and make your own fire? Because beyond the visible lies life. Thank you so much.